The Nazi paper congratulated FDR for replacing the uninhibited frenzy of market speculation with the adoption of National Socialist strains of thought. Of FDR's New Deal, the Völkischer Beobachter said, "We fear only the possibility that it might fail." Hitler quickly consolidated his power. He executed leaders of the brown shirts who had challenged his authority. This was the famous Night of the Long Knives. No! Some progressives try to portray Hitler as a right-winger by insisting he was anti-gay. But Hitler knew that the brown shirt leader, Ernst Röhm, was a notorious homosexual, as were many other brown shirts. When Hitler showed up to arrest Röhm, he encountered a remarkable scene.
Allmannsje! Röhm, Sie sind verhaftet! Sie sind ein Verräter!
Röhm publicly suggested that he, not Hitler, was the true leader of the Nazi Party.
Herr Jünge!
When Heinrich Himmler urged Hitler to purge the gay brown shirts out of the Nazi movement, Hitler refused. Hitler said he didn't care what the brown shirts did in private, as long as they were good fighters. Hitler was no social conservative. Earlier we saw what Hitler learned from the Democrats, but was there anything he learned from American progressives? Investigative journalist Edwin Black, the son of Holocaust survivors, is the author of The War Against the Weak.
Now, you have written that eugenics in America, and this is true in other parts of Europe as well, was a progressive cause. Progressive in what sense?
Progressive in every sense. This was not done by people who thought that they were race haters. This was done by the do-gooders, the liberals, the people who wanted to improve society. Margaret Sanger, a progressive who wanted to help humanity, and her approach to doing that was to wipe away the existence of 2/3 of all people.
You mean 2/3 of the entire American population?
Yes, of course.
And she actually explicitly said this?
Of course. She wanted to get rid of human weeds. She wrote about this extensively. At one point, Hitler wrote fan mail to one of her colleagues on her board and said, "Your writings are my Bible."
Now, this is Madison Grant, the head of the New York Zoological Society. Tell me about the meeting between Madison Grant and Whitney, another prominent eugenicist.
Madison Grant is discussing his fan mail from Adolf Hitler, and Whitney has an identical letter just like it. And so they both have letters in which Hitler thanks them. All these eugenicists saying, "We have had a dramatic impact on Germany."
And you quote an American progressive eugenicist basically saying, "Hey, whoa, we've got to pick it up. The Nazis are beating us at our own game."
That's right. While we were pussyfooting around, the Nazis were beating us at our own game.
Why is it the case today, if I open a Planned Parenthood brochure, I get a completely different picture of Margaret Sanger than anything that you've described?
What's going on is the reshaping and the falsifying of history. The Nazis also invented history. There's a role for people like me and a role for people like you. We spend our lives trying to authenticate the real history.
We've learned how Hitler got his murderous conquest scheme from the Jacksonian Democrats. We've also learned how he got eugenic schemes from left-wing progressives. But what does Nazi racism owe to the Democratic Party? I went to see the historian and sociologist Stefan Kuehl, who has developed an international reputation for books like The Nazi Connection. I met with him in Munich.
What was the essence of the Nuremberg laws? These are the laws of 1935. What did they seek to do?
They actually gave a first definition of what is a Jew. It was not very easy for the Nazis to define what is a Jew.
Meine Herren, Wir sind hier, um Gesetze zu schaffen, die es uns Deutschen ermöglichen, das jüdische Problem zu lösen.
Für solche Gesetze gibt es keine Präzedenzfälle. Weder in Deutschland noch in irgendeiner anderen industrialisierten Nation. Wie können wir das Gesetz nutzen, um die Bürger um ihre Rechte zu bringen?
Wir haben einen Präzedenzfall. Das ist unser Plan. Subjekte ohne Bürgerrechte.
Amerika? Die. Ah, Bürger zweiter Klasse.
Warum die Juden absondern? Das Gesetz kann einfach alle Mischern verbieten. Wenn wir spezifische Bezüge auf die Juden vermeiden, hilft es uns, internationale Unterstützung zu bekommen.
Unsinn! Die Amerikaner separieren die Afrikaner ganz eindeutig. So können wir die Juden separieren.
Und wer ist dann ein Jude? Eine Person mit jüdischem Vater, aber deutscher Mutter? Macht das einen Juden aus?
Wie identifizieren die Amerikaner einen Neger?
Die Ein-Tropfen-Regel. Jede erkennbare Spur schwarzer Abstammung heißt, dass man als Schwarzer gilt.
Menschliche Härte. Auch wenn jemand weiß aussieht und sich wie ein Weißer benimmt, kann er immer noch als Schwarzer gesehen werden.
Die Ein-Tropfen-Regel ist wohl zu streng. Wir können diese Blutzählung auf 3 jüdische Großeltern beschränken.
The Nazi Nuremberg laws were directly modeled on the segregation laws of the Democratic Party. Every